Yeah, it's a new sheriff in town. Okay, we'll get started. As you can see, our chair is not here. He was delayed, so he asked me if I would serve as chair today. So I'm doing that. So hopefully you can run as tight a ship as our normal chair does. So I welcome officials from the Justice Department who will help us by answering any technical questions that members may have about the bill and the amendments. From the Justice Department, we have Matthew Taylor, who's been here many times, General Counsel and Director, Criminal Law Policy Section. And we also have Counsel Isabel Desharnais. Yes, okay. Thank you. Welcome to you both. And so when we're ready to start clause-by-clause consideration of C-41, I'd like to remind members of the committee a few things. Members should note any new amendments must be submitted in writing to the clerk of the committee. During debate on an amendment, members are permitted to move sub-amendments. These sub-amendments must be submitted in writing. They do not require the approval of the mover of the amendment. So you've all received the agenda and the amendments package again yesterday. So now we can proceed with clause-by-clause study of the bill. We'll now call Clause 1 of Bill C-295. And first, we have BQ1 to deal with. I'll ask Mr. Fortin, would you like to move BQ1?
Yes, I'm doing. Monsieur Moore, alors oui, ça me fait plaisir.
Yes, it's a pleasure for me to put forward this amendment BQ1 on C-295. We're saying that we want to hold responsible the right people for the long-term care facilities, the officers, but we find that the workers is a bit of a large concept, so we want to get rid of the idea of the manager and just stick to this idea of the officers. And you can see that in the amendment, it's quite self-explanatory. So basically, it's the owners and the officers.
Thank you. And a couple comments on this. First of all, if BQ1 should pass, that applies to BQ2 and BQ3 as well, as they are consequential amendments to BQ1. So if BQ1 is adopted, BQ2 and BQ3 are also adopted. If BQ1 is defeated, so are BQ2 and BQ3, and they'll not be called. Also important to note, if BQ1 is adopted, then NDP1 cannot be moved as they amend the same line. So with that, unless there's any questions, shall BQ1... Oh, go ahead, Mr. Garrison.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to say, because of the rules of order and we're amending the same sections, NDP1 would be ruled out of order or not possible to move. But I do want to say that the intent of BQ1 and NDP1 are the same. I actually think that BQ1 is a superior amendment in that it is more specific and comprehensive. The one that I had moved, but I do believe they accomplish the same purpose, so I'll be voting for it.
Oh, okay, that solves that. So, shall
That's our new coalition.
Yeah. So unless there's any other questions, shall BQ1 carry? Yes. Okay, carried. On division or just carried? Carried, okay. So, great, BQ1 carries. That means NDP1 will not be moved. So shall clause 1 carry as amended? Oh, one sec. Yeah. Okay, yeah, we got it. So shall clause 1 carry as amended? Yes. Okay. Moving on to clause 2. And for clause 2, we have BQ2. BQ2 is already passed because of our vote on BQ1, as they are consequential. So next we have G1.
I think it's self-explanatory, Mr. Chair. So just
explain it anyway. That's never stopped us before.
Just defining it to ensure that the necessities of life are provided to the residents. So just clarifying what it is that needs to be provided.
Okay. Shall G1 carry? Yes. Okay. G1 is carried. Shall Clause 2 carry as amended? Yes. Okay. Clause 3, BQ3, the vote was already taken on that as it's consequential to BQ1. So BQ4. Would you like to move that, Mr. Fortin?
Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you, Chair. So BQ4, once again, as I said, we think this is a good bill, but we'd like to take account of the fact that in certain provinces and in Quebec, we've already adopted specific provisions to tackle with these different problems that came up during the pandemic. And we know it hasn't been easy, and that's the situation that we've seen in the long-term care facilities during the pandemic, which have brought about this bill C-295. So we've said that in Quebec and possibly in other provinces there are already steps and provisions that have been adopted. We thought it would be appropriate for any court that will have to look at possible offences to take account of any penalties or measures that have been imposed upon individuals that have been charged under provincial law or Quebec law on these same events. So it doesn't take anything away. We're just saying that the judge will have to take account of this as well when he's carrying out sentencing. And in Quebec, there's certain fines, or there could be an imprisonment sentence that's being requested. Then this fine may not be asked for again as it's already been paid, or perhaps imprisonment could be replaced by the fine. Basically, the judge could decide what is most appropriate in the circumstances, but we want the court to take account of sanctions that have been imposed under another law. Thank you very much.
Unless there's any questions, shall BQ4 carry? Yes. Okay, BQ4 carries. G2. Mr. Garrison.
Just for future reference in the committee, I think the numbering of things with a G is actually incorrect, and it should be an L, since the government doesn't actually move motions.
Yeah, government would include you.
I would hate to, and I wouldn't want there to be any confusion about that. So it should say L.
That's a good point, Mr. Garrison. I know this is the way we've been doing it all year, but that's above my pay grade. We'll mention that to our chair, though. Mr. Caputo.
This is for the officials. My recollection is actually that by indictment there isn't any offenses that are sentenciable to 4 years. In the criminal code, it usually goes 2, 5, 10, 14. Is that accurate?
Thanks for the question. That, as I understand it, the proposal to increase it to 4 years is to actually mirror one of the very few exceptions to the rule that you've outlined in the context of the prohibition order for child sex offenses. The penalty there is for 4 years as well, but you're absolutely right. The usual structure is as you set it out.
Thank you, and I will note that G2 hasn't been moved yet, so Gary, if...
So precisely to Matthew's point, so it is to increase from 2 to 4 years, just to be consistent with the bill. So that's the change that's proposed in G2.
Shall G2 carry? On division? Okay, on division. Shall Clause 3 carry as amended? Yes. Clause 3 carries as amended. Shall Clause 4 carry?
The rest of you can play.
Clause 4 carries. Shall Clause 5, we have G3. Gary?
Again, this is just to put in coming into force provision 30 days after the day in which the bill receives royal assent.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion on G3? Okay. Shall G3 carry? Yes. G3 carries. Shall clause 5 carry? Oh, we've already. Okay. So G3 carries. Shall the title carry? On division? Okay, title carries on division. Shall the bill as amended carry?
Yes.
Okay. Shall the chair report the bill as amended to the House?
Yes.
Shall the committee order a reprint of the bill as amended for the use of the House at report stage?
Yes.
Okay, I think that's our business for today. So unless there's any questions, Gary.
Just with respect to 224, we have witnesses next Monday. My suggestion would be that we do clause by clause on Wednesday. In the interim, if we can have deadline for submission of amendments midday Tuesday, Mr. Clerk? Yeah, is it too tight? Monday, 5:30 or 5?
Any discussion on that? We are scheduled to hear 224 on Monday, and then we could do clause by clause on Wednesday for 224. Any issue with that? Any discussion? Okay. And what do we have for a deadline for getting in the amendments? Monday at 5:30. Does that work? Okay. Anything else? Meeting adjourned.